Hello there, lovely. Good morning, and welcome to Camnet TV Breakfast Show, where we urge you to rise and thrive. This particular morning, it is a Wednesday, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Joe Smata, and of course, I am joined by my colleague Chanda Mwango. Good morning, and good to see you.
Good to see you, Joe. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fantastic. The weather in Lusaka is fantastic as well.
It is quite chilly as usual. We've been having a good weather throughout the week. And of course, we are back again on the breakfast show today, bringing you to speed with regards issues of national interest. And to help us discuss some of the topics today, we are going to be joined by a very special guest to help us understand what is causing some of these statements on our topic of discussions this morning. And of course, be sure to stay up for that interview. We're going to be starting shortly. Joe?
Okay, fantastic. Now, like Chanda said, we are going to have a special guest who is Democratic National Party president and founder. We'll be finding out what the party is up to and how they are mobilizing this party. Plus, don't miss, first president yesterday was arrested, and of course, there was some conflict there where we saw one of our scribes, a journalist, being attacked by the Fuzz camp. He later reported the matter to the police, and many more other interesting stories. Don't go away. But for now, your health matters. Let's go into the health corner.
Hi, welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakubiana Mfaya. So this week we are looking at a very interesting topic, and we're looking at polycystic ovarian syndrome. And we've discussed what is polycystic ovarian syndrome and what are some of the causes of polycystic ovarian syndrome. So we say that polycystic ovarian syndrome usually comes about because of increased production of insulin in the body, and this results in the body not responding well to the hormones, the female hormones that are produced, or even not producing enough of these female hormones. And also the body will tend to produce more of the androgens, which are the male hormones. And so you have irregularities in your menses, or even not have menses at all. And you might also have cysts that form in the ovaries. So what are some of the symptoms of somebody who has polycystic ovarian syndrome? Now, there are a number of symptoms that can be able to tell you that you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Most people who develop this condition would usually see these symptoms a bit early after they start their periods. So it could be somebody who is getting into their 20s who starts experiencing such symptoms. Even though most of the symptoms would be there even before they start their periods, but because you have not yet started your periods, you can't really know that you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So most people who have polycystic ovarian syndrome would have amenorrhea or oligomenorrhea. So they might not have menses regularly. So they might be some months when they are not having their menses. So they might have menses for 3 months and then skip 1 month, or even skip 2 months, 3 months, or even 6 months. So they have what we call oligomenorrhea. Then they may also have symptoms of hyperandrogenism. And so this is where they might experience what we call hirsutism, where they have facial hair, which is most common in men, which we see in men only. But now you find that even women start having facial hairs. They might have a beard or a mustache that develops because of the excess male hormones that are being produced. They may also have alopecia, where their hair is falling out, and so they might have loss of hair in their scalp, so they have a baldness on their head. So these are some of the symptoms that people with PCOS would usually have, apart from having the irregular menses. Then they might also be found to have cysts. When they go to the hospital, they might have cysts. Now, these cysts, when they develop, they might show as a distended abdomen, where somebody has an abdomen that is distended, or having a mass in the abdomen, or they might not. So sometimes they might be so big such that they can be very visible, and other times they are not so visible. So they might have these cysts that form in the ovaries. So these are the symptoms of people who have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I do hope you have learned something today. Make sure you watch again tomorrow, where we'll talk about the treatment or the diagnosis and how it's treated in the hospital once you are found to have this condition. Make sure that you also watch the other episodes on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Nakubena Mfaya on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Okay, so that was our resident doctor there giving us some tips on health conditions, and I hope you learned one or two things from that particular presentation from our resident doctor there. But for now, let's get into our money markets and see how the kwacha is faring against major convertible foreign currencies. There we have it today, the 24th of April 2024, exactly 7:07:11. Now the foreign exchange rates stand at the United States dollars is buying at 25 kwacha 77 ngwe and selling at 26 kwacha 28 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 31 kwacha 91 ngwe and selling at 32 kwacha 54 ngwe. The euro is buying at 27 kwacha 48 ngwe and selling at 28 kwacha 2 ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 34 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 37 ngwe. Now those are your foreign exchange rates for today as of Wednesday 24th 2024 at exactly 07 hours. Now do remember that these foreign exchange rates vary from bank to bank and from bureau to bureau. So the kwacha against other major convertible currencies, you have seen it for yourselves as you go for work, as you go to campus, as you go to conduct your business. You have seen how the kwacha is trading, especially against the dollar. Chanda, let's get into it. We have stories coming in as breaking news. Now, an audit query has revealed that Mikalile Trading Company has been named in an audit involving 402 million United States dollars. Now, this was due to a contract whose interest was overpriced by 60 million United States dollars. Interesting breaking news there. Then another one goes to say an audit report shows one supplier was given 70 million United States dollars for supplying uniforms valued at 4.5 million United States dollars to Ministry of Home Affairs. Now this these are some of the stories that we'll be following up, Chanda, today to find out and establish and get more details. But for now, we're giving you snippets so that you know what is really obtaining on the ground. If you're just joining us, Chanda, an audit report shows one supplier was given 70 million United States dollars for supplying uniforms valued at 4.5 million to Ministry of Home Affairs. Tell me Zambia is broke.
With these revelations, I doubt. And this really is a concern because in the audit report, it clearly states that these uniforms were not even supplied. And this they were valued at $4.5 million, and this supplier was paid $70 million for not supplying these uniforms.
For not supplying these uniforms. And Chanda, this is why I get to ask. So now, if you are going to say uniforms were not supplied, right? But monies were paid. So the question is, when this individual is identified, you hear, no, he has forfeited so much to the state, and our lives continue.
They've entered an agreement.
They've entered an agreement, a consent agreement. So this is why one of the governance experts was quoted last week in one of the daily tabloids, must be the Must or the Daily Nation, I stand to be corrected, where he said, it must be the Must, yes, on Thursday or Friday, where he said, stop cutting deals with your thieving friends. Stop cutting deals. Because, come on, how would somebody get into a consent agreement? How would somebody get into a deal after having discovered, after the state discovering that this is a corrupt person, this individual obtained money by false pretenses, this individual stole public funds from the Zambian people, and then you say you've entered into a consent judgment? Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. Kind of brings the question, is really the rule of law in the country being observed? Because if these perpetrators are found wanting, they should be brought to book. They should be questioned how they acquired those assets, and not necessarily them entering into an agreement. Because, of course, if you are caught, if you are found wanting by the law, you should answer to it. If you are implicated, you should prove. If, of course, you are not guilty, you should walk up in the court and say, no, I'm not guilty. I acquired these assets, these monies in such a way. So if you are going to investigate me, you are welcome. But then if you are...
So you need to prove your innocence.
You need to prove your innocence. But then if you are going to go to court and begin to enter consent agreements, as they say it, that the public does not know about, that the public is not aware of, it raises more questions as to how the rule of law in the country is being observed.
And then again, Chanda, we are still putting, not really a blame, but we're observing how the UPND party in government is conducting itself, because the head of state has been saying times that number that this particular administration came on the premise of upholding the rule of law. Now, for some people, they think upholding the rule of law is doing away with cadres. There are no cadres in markets, there's no cadreism, then it ends there. No, the rule of law means that even how cases are administered in court, even how individuals that are perceived to be corrupt, whose properties are suspected to be proceeds of crime. Now, if for instance, there's an argument out there to say if it's a Zambian that has got property within the country, they are investigated, they are prosecuted, how come somebody is able to have so much money and yet they didn't supply anything? Is this what the president has been saying, to say certain people supplied air to the ministries, to some ministries, and they were paid for supplying air? You get my point. I think we need to follow this story to the latter, Chanda.
Indeed.
We need to know the individuals involved, and we need to make sure that we expose these individuals. We tell the nation who these individuals are, and we are urging the UPND as a party in government to make sure that the Access to Information Act is operationalized. In its current form right now, it's not operationalized.
It's not operationalized.
You heard what the representative from the Ministry of Information and Media, one of the directors, said that we were not ready for the Access to Information Act because initially we thought the UPND won't implement it. But it has been implemented. Things need to be put in place to make sure that we have access to it. We need to see laptops, computers at police stations so that information is in the database. If I walk into a police station and I say, I need case number so and so.
They should be able to attend to me.
They should be able to attend to me without even giving me that intimidating look. They should be able to attend to me, give me that information on a flash disk. Then I walk out, I come and print from the office. I inform the people out there. We should be able to be seen, and as a country that is moving, as a country that is making pronouncements that are being adhered to, as a country that is making or coming up with statutory instruments that are being followed. Chanda, you can't have 70 million United States dollars
being paid for nothing.
Being paid for nothing. Now remember, there was the issue of the 24
that was forfeited.
24 million translates to 24 million United States dollars translated to 600 million kwacha, current exchange rate. 70 is translating to, you do the math.
Quite more. It's a huge figure.
It's a huge figure.
It really is a cost on us as a nation, because we are losing so much money for nothing. How do we pay somebody $70 million on a contract that was signed under $4.5 million? So that excess amount, how do we account for it? Where did it go?
Let's do the math. Let's just say, okay, where is the 65? Where did the 65 go? If we subtract, let's say 4.5, we just say
roughly 65.
Roughly 65. Okay, we just say the 5 million United States dollars. That's how much the contract was, right? 4.5.
4.5.
Okay, so now where did the 65 million United States dollars go?
That's the question.
And this shouldn't be one individual. This shouldn't be one individual.
There should be a lot more people involved in this case.
I tend to wonder, Chanda. I tend to wonder whether, as a country, we take matters seriously. Because if this money is forfeited, it needs to be taken into Control 99, so that we add to our national treasury. But you find that people will treat this matter or these matters of corruption as if it's tribal cousinship. You know? Yeah, as if it's tribal cousinship. Fiachimbuya. Kula sekafi. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, fiabuteko. Who cares? No, we do care. And we'll follow you to the latter, because we're going to report you. But we're going to read about you.
And being a matter of public interest, let's hope the media, the media, will do justice on this particular case, because it is really a matter of public interest. People want to know where that excess 65 million US dollars went.
And who was involved?
Who was involved?
You get.
Is it one person? Is it two? Is it a group? When was it? Why were they paid that extra money? Were they in partnership with the government? Was there any illegal deals? That's what we want to know.
That's what we want to know.
Account for this particular excess money, because it is a matter of public interest, and the Zambian people do really deserve to know where this money went. And
heads definitely need to roll, and we need to establish again, Chanda, when was this? Post 2021 or pre 2021? We need to know which audit query was this, and which audit report was this. We need to know this issue of exciting the public with bits and pieces of information. It shouldn't be happening. We need a detailed statement from the Auditor General's office, because this was an audit query, right?
Between 2006 and 2022.
2006 and 2022. Wow. 2006.
Yeah.
So we're going as far back as that.
2006 to 2022.
So we're going as far back as 2006.
Indeed. Imagine.
Interesting, viewers. Interesting. Let's move on again to matters that have to do with the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, where they have arrested and jointly charged Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, President Andrew Kamang and 3 others for money laundering offenses. Now you are able to see the FAZ president in that particular image there. Now the quartet have been charged with offences including obtaining money by false pretense, obtaining pecuniary advantage by false pretense, and conspiracy to defraud. Others arrested are first General Secretary Ruben Kamanga, Madalitso Kamanga, and Jairos Siame. Now, DEC Assistant Public Relations Officer Sidney Katongo says the suspects, while acting together, obtained 341,902 kwacha from government under false pretenses. Mr. Katongo says the money was allocated as allowances for Madaliso and Jairus to attend the recently held Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, with each pocketing 170,951,000 kwacha and return air tickets valued at 99,989,000 kwacha. Now that's where it gets interesting, Mwango. So the Drug Enforcement Commission has arrested the quartet, those three individuals.
Issues of money laundering.
Issues of money laundering. When you see DEC or DEC being involved, just know there are money laundering activities here. So there we have it.
It raises a lot of questions for the Zambian people again. It seems like a lot of the country's finances are being touched, and the Zambian people do not know. But of course, we do appreciate DEC's effort in helping us
and giving us
to speed
yes,
with regards to what was happening, because we do not know what goes on in the background. But of course, DEC is on the ground ensuring that we get that particular information. And we did see yesterday, of course, just like you have stated in that report, the first president being implicated in that particular case, as well as the Ruben Kamanga also was equally implicated, the Secretary General.
Yes.
Raises a lot of questions. What really was obtaining during that particular case?
It raises a lot of questions. What is really obtaining at Football House, and how we have entrusted individuals to administer on football affairs. However, they are falling short. Of course, we've all fallen short of the glory of God, and we admit, rightly so, that we are sinners. But integrity is integrity. No wonder FAS has got an integrity committee. Are you aware? FIFA has got an integrity committee. Are you aware? So now, not so long ago, we saw 300,000 United States dollars being given to FA, our FA, and it was said that it was going to be taken for, it was going to be used rather to construct stadiums across the country. Your guess is as good as mine.
How many stadiums have we constructed?
Your guess is as good as mine, Chanda.
Could it be the money that DEC is following up in terms of the...
Now this is from government. That was from FIFA, and you know how it is. Government is not supposed to interfere with internal matters of football, because football, FA is independent in any country, that is. FA is independent. Government shouldn't interfere. Once it interferes, there can be sanctions. Our players can never play, blah blah blah. All these things are said, even when people are doing the wrong thing, Mango. Now, these monies were obtained from government. And you know, monies that always come from government, there's always Big Brother watching and seeing how it's being dispensed and all. And these three individuals have been caught up in the web. And now they have some explanations to do to the Zambian people, number one. Number two, to how they are running the affairs of Football House, where they are. It's already in public domain, and of course we have every right to talk about it and find out what is really happening at the helm of football. And now, one interesting aspect, Chanda, is the harassment of a journalist by a fellow journalist.
Imagine, despite cause of journalists not to be harassed.
You always blame cadres, don't you? And the police, yes. No, the police are harassing journalists. They've arrested this journalist. Now, these are men and women in suits and neckties that harassed our fellow scribe. An attack to one is an attack to all of us, Mango.
Merely for doing his job.
Merely for doing his job.
It is really a sad development because, of course, our job is merely to cover and communicate the information to the public. And of course, it raises a question as well, because if he was harassed, it means they didn't want to be in public domain on the negative side of things. That is, what are they hiding? Why are they hiding? Why don't they want to speak to the public if indeed they are clean? It raises those kind of questions.
It raises a lot of questions, Mwango, and this is a non-individual. Our fellow scribe obviously is from Millennium Radio, Millennium TV, Millennium Radio. That's Timothy Mukwima, who was harassed, attacked, verbally abused, physically attacked by well-known individuals.
And these are individuals that should be...
These are colleagues. These are our colleagues. They are also scribes, but they are working for FA. They are also scribes, but working for FA. And these are colleagues that we interact with, colleagues whose numbers we do have. We can call them
colleagues who we should relate with.
We should relate
who
with.
shouldn't subject us to this kind of treatment.
A treatment.
Having understood our job, having been in our shoes, they should let us do our job and communicate information to the public. So it is quite saddening that we are having people wearing suits and ties harassing a fellow scribe.
Imagine.
Very sad development.
Very sad development, Chanda. And we hope that our able men and women in uniform, in the name of the Zambia Police Service, will take up this matter with keen interest, because of all the professions, I think the most abused physically, verbally, are journalists. We're the most abused.
Could it be because we are among the few people that are privileged to be around influential people?
We're privileged to be around influential people, and those influential people should be able to protect us. However, we are the most abused. We are the most abused people. You talk about attacks. It's every day. Whether it's at the courts of law.
But then the thing is, if you are clean as an individual in government or wherever, you wouldn't be bothered by journalists covering you. Because at the end of the day, if you are clean, the truth cannot be challenged.
The truth cannot be challenged, Mango.
You'll be okay. Whether they film, whether they relate the information to the public, for as long as you know that your deals are clean, you went about them cleanly, you're good. Why should you raise concerns when somebody is covering you?
Chanda, you know how it is. Emotions. You know how it is when you start thinking about a lot of things at the same time. Emotions cloud your judgment. If Mwango is removed from this position, what happens? I'll lose my livelihood. This reminds me. Let me take you back a bit. When the MMD lost elections in 2011, when former President Mr. Rupia Bwezanibanda, may he so rest in peace, when he was asked, how did you take the loss? Okay? How did you take the loss? He said, the first thing I did, I started thinking about my friends. Their sons are in foreign service. My friend is a minister. My other friend is a parastatal head. So I started thinking about them. Said, now that I'm going to be removed from this position,
these people are going to lose.
They are also going to be removed.
But
they are also going to lose jobs.
Based on merit, why should they be worried?
You go where your loyalty lies, my brother. That's how it is. Even former finance minister, may he so rest in peace again, Honorable Peter Ngandumagande, said it. That immediately the MMD lost power, his son was called from foreign service, this happened, and the like. I think he detailed that on one of the interviews. He expresses displeasure on how the Patriotic Front treated him, according to him, and those that were close to him, that were in influential offices when they took power. So this should...
his relatives?
Obviously so. So this again goes to show you that once office bearers are changed, there's always that change, because you always go where your loyalty lies. Somebody will say, okay, fine.
Which is a good change, though.
It's supposed to be a good change. It's
No,
supposed
it is not supposed to be.
It is a good change. Okay.
Because the tendency is that once these people are placed in influential positions, they give jobs to their relatives, who some do not. Some it's not even based on merit. Some do not even qualify, but then they are put in those particular jobs, leaving out the main suffering Zambians who are qualified for that matter. And then this person goes ahead and gives a job to their relative, takes them to foreign service, takes them to the military, and then there's a particular Zambian having the necessary qualifications,
very competent,
unemployed. So for me, from my perspective, it's a necessary change. Once these people lose power, of course, those people that were employed not based on merit should be recalled and should be fired, so that they leave room for other people who are qualified to be employed based on merit.
Okay. Talking about firing Mwango, we do have another story that made rounds on different media platforms. That a Deputy High Commissioner to Tanzania in the name of Anthony Bwalya, former presidential spokesperson, had resigned.
Okay.
Get me clearly, had resigned. Unconfirmed reports made the rounds on social media that he had resigned. However, Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana was quick to come out and say those reports should be refuted. He refuted the reports and said that we should treat them with the contempt that they deserve. It is not true. They were inaccurate. It is not true that the gentleman who's in Tanzania as our Deputy High Commissioner has resigned from his position. He's still serving the country in that capacity, according to the PS. So we await to see what really is going on. But since it came from the PS, he's one of the mouthpieces of government. We take it as gospel truth, unless Anthony Bwalya himself issues a statement, unless we see him issuing a statement saying that I haven't resigned or I've resigned. But for him not to issue a statement and for the ministry
to dispel those assertions,
it means that there's, you know what I mean. So we leave it there, but you can come through and give us a call. Chanda, you do have a story before we pave way for our guest this morning.
And one of the stories making headlines this morning, we did see fugitive outspoken opposition economic and equity party president Chilufya Tahali has described the intention by Zambia police to place him on Interpol red notice as jokes. In a live social media broadcast, the opposition leader, who is reportedly on the run, says the International Criminal Police Organization cannot go after him because he is not a criminal. Let's take a look at that particular clip.
Pressure continues to pile up on outspoken opposition economic and equity party leader Chilufya Tahali, who is facing more than 3 legal suits before the Lusaka Magistrate Court and is alleged to be out of the country, to the dismay of the courts. The opposition leader, who has missed court appearances for more than twice, prompted the Lusaka Magistrate Court to issue a bench warrant for absconding on Monday. Lusaka Magistrate Boiwana Simvula issued the bench warrant on the politician, returnable next week, March 27th, 2024. This is in a case where Tahali is accused of expressing or showing hatred, ridicule, or contempt for persons because of race, after he claimed that Bembas are useful idiots on January 26th, 2023. Mr. Tahali, who is known for live broadcast on his Facebook page, is also appearing before Lusaka Magistrate Kelvin Isoma for using language inciting mutiny, and before Lusaka Principal Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya for accusing Chief Mugoni of being behind the 2020 gassing incidents in the country. However, when the matter came up for using language inciting mutiny before Magistrate Kelvin Isoma, the politician and his sureties were not before the court, leading to the matter to be adjourned to the 8th of May 2024. As per tradition, the outspoken and fugitive politician was seen live on his Facebook page and described the intention of Zambia police to place him on Interpol red notice as a joke.
All follow, or they will put a person on red alert who they truly believe that this person is a danger to, the people around. And wherever he goes, he might be a danger. I'm not a danger. I am not a danger. I'm just an innocent guy. I'm just an innocent guy. So you people who are celebrating, you are celebrating for nothing. You are celebrating for nothing, and I can tell you, I can guarantee you, I will never come back in Zambia in handcuffs as you are imagining, brought by Interpol.
As it stands, the bench warrant before Magistrate Moninya and Magistrate Simvula stands effective. For how long will the politician be on the run? Nelson Zulu. For Camnet News, Lusaka.
There you have it. One of the most outspoken opposition leaders, Chilufya Tayali, has been implicated and is reportedly to be on the run following his absconding court twice. And of course, we did see on Monday he was issued a bench warrant by magistrate court, and of course he has been told the government will get aid from Interpol Red Notice in terms of investigating this particular case.
But you know what, and again, these pronouncements, who said they are going to instruct Interpol to look for Chilufya Tayali?
The government said they are going to.
Government said that. Where is Kaiser Zulu? That's a question we need to ask. Because it means that whoever has got a court case now, they'll be running, they'll be at large. And it goes to show or underscore a sad point that maybe, just maybe, we're allowing people to become fugitives at will. You remember, not so long ago, we can only wish, we do not take pleasure in talking about those who are sick or those who have departed, those who are dead. But it's in public domain and it was reported widely. We saw, for instance, Mr. Chimbakambwili crossing over the border, getting into Zimbabwe. How did he do that? How did he do that? Now we are being told this opposition political party leader, Chilufya Tayali, is also on the run. How did he do that? Kaiser Zulu has been on the run. How did he do that? We have two parliamentarians that appear in court and they pay monies. We're talking about independent Lumezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Honorable Munya Zulu, and also Chulubi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mulenga Fube, because these were his sureties. And the man decided to disappear and nobody seems to know where he is. Honestly, with modern technology, and you're telling us that you're going to involve Interpol. No wonder Chilufya Tayali is laughing at them. Whoever issued that statement, this is why Chilufya Tayali is laughing at them. They're bluffing.
Could it be that government is not competent enough in terms of investigating this particular case?
They are. One thing that we have to know is that if there's an institution that has got competent, qualified individuals, is government.
Technology-wise?
Technology-wise, yes. But it's the application of the laws. It's applications of the statutory instruments that we craft for ourselves that we do not take seriously. But we do have competent people, competent, highly competent, let me add, highly competent individuals working in government. But it's the application of our laws. How can somebody who's been appearing in court, nobody's even putting tabs on him to monitor his movements, how can you cross the country and be in a hotel somewhere and tell you to say, this is laughable what you're telling me, I'm live on Facebook right now. And you're telling me that with all the machinery that we have as a country, nobody seems to know where he is going. Maybe, just maybe, that governance expert was right by saying, stop cutting deals with your corrupt friends. Whoever he was referring this to, we don't know. But that statement was issued. And if you want further clarification, it's there in the newspapers. He said it. You get? How is it possible? Anyway, let's leave it to our guest, Chanda. Our guest is Mr. Sidney Chiaba, and he comes from Democratic National Party. Mr. Chiaba, good to see you. First up on Camnet. Good to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to the viewers. And thank you very much for that.
Okay, you're welcome. Mr. Chiaba, let's begin to find out. How is the party? How are you mobilizing? Political calendar shows us 1 year, 6 months to the general elections. How are you mobilizing the party?
Yeah, so Democratic National Party, first let me introduce it. As the name suggests, it's a national party,
Okay.
where we are saying all the Zambians are free to be part of the members, and it's a national party because we are carrying a national vision, a national transformation agenda, which in our vision says accelerated development for economic realization for all Zambians, liberate and transform Zambia into a developed country. So we are trying to ensure that our transcendent trajectory of rotating in impoverishment, indebtedness comes to an end. So
Okay.
what we are doing now, we have gone countrywide. Media have helped us, you media have helped us to reach out to the masses countrywide through our vision, through sharing our manifesto, and we've been getting support to say our manifesto is one of the best because it's talking about uplifting and creating impact and impacting the Zambian people. We are the Zambians are the one who can develop this country. It's not that investor that we've been crying for. So a lot of support is coming. We've got members countrywide. We are now strategizing, going on the ground to make structures in various areas where we didn't have structures, like Western Province, where we've identified someone who can help us there to coordinate. So we are progressing, especially this year, 2024. We've received a lot of support in terms of new members coming in, and we're getting a presentation of leaders joining us from all these 72 tribes, which is for us is a positive move, a part which started in 2021, around October 2021, and in 2022, around October 26. That's when we were registered. So for us, we are moving in the right direction.
Okay. You've said, you've talked about a plate with food, no hunger. Now, currently, Zambia is under a drought, is experiencing a drought in some parts of the country.
Which of course has posed significant threat to the country's food security, and of course has possibly led to an increase in the number of poverty levels in the country.
How are you going to do it?
Yeah, so we've experienced a drought in this country, and it's not the first and the last drought will continue coming. But our bottlenecks as Zambian leaders and Zambian people is that we have no focused planning. The plan that we focus to think for the future. We are always thinking for today, and then a person who thinks for today is not a good is driving himself to a ditch, because every time in our day-to-day life, if I'm a parent, I make something, we finish everything today. Tomorrow the children will sleep hungry. This is what is happening. It's a time bombs that we've been creating ourselves. What needed to happen is that we needed to have technology products that are able to detect the rainfall pattern in each particular year, so that we are given that warning to say this year rainfall will be bad in these areas, and in these areas it will be okay, so that we can put up contingency measures to mitigate that effect. Also ensuring that we should have been doing what is called a contingency plan or fallback plan, whereby we've got dams in various strategic farming locations to ensure that if there is no rain, we are moving into irrigation farming. So all these things were not put in place. When you operate, even as an individual, you are working and all the money you are paid, you use it, you don't save anything. Then if there's a calamity, you have difficult to resolve that. So this also happens to the governance. So our leaders have not been focusing, doing that planning for long-term plan to ensure that in the event that there is a drought, we've got fallback plan or contingency measures already in place, so that we overcome the challenges smoothly. So this has been a challenge, but what needs to be done going forward is that let's have irrigation programs, let's invest in technology, innovation, research and development, coming up with solutions or products that can alert us in terms of detecting what could happen in rainfall, in soil fertility and all that. Invest in the research, because in Africa, Zambia in particular, research and development is not something that is taken serious. But this is where the thinking process economy, or where you can make a lot of money. This is what we see in Western countries. They are developing because they invest in innovation, research and development. Every day they are doing research so that they can come up with product, they can encounter real life challenges, business problems that are happening. And if we are moving in that direction, we are bound to succeed. So these are some of the measures that need to be taken aggressively in this country to ensure that we have food security.
In response, firstly, we did see Republican President Hakainde Hichilema declare the drought as a national disaster and state of emergency. And recently, we also saw that he was calling for international aid, rather, for about 25 million kwacha in terms of relief for this current drought that Zambia has been experiencing. But so far, what do you make of the response that has been coming in from government? Is it adequate enough?
Yeah, so the issue is not even about the adequate. Democratic National Party, our vision, again I'm going to repeat it, accelerated development for economic realization of all Zambians, and to liberate and transform Zambia into a developed and self-reliant country. Self-reliant, we mean we should use our own resources to fund our own social development, starting from road, calamities, not donor dependency. We are saying donor dependency is not good. The countries that donate money to us, or the agencies that donate money to us, they are human beings like us, they are countries like us. Some of these countries, they don't even have the natural resources that we have, like copper.
So the president was not in order to call for international aid?
Looking at the trend of this country, the only way they can do is that they can do to request for support, but that is not good for our reputation as a country. We need to ensure that if we've got a problem, we are able to solve using our money.
But
the question which lies in,
Mr. Chairman, you're a broke country. You do not have capital.
We are not.
You owe local creditors, suppliers to the mines. You owe them money. Outside, you have external creditors, bilateral creditors, and also private creditors. You are a broke nation as it is.
So Zambia is a rich country. It has got natural resources. We've got people who can work. We've got land. We've got water. These things. Now, what lacks in our country is using our thinking process to think about how to make money. So we are broke because we have got leaders who are broke in their thinking. Zambia as a country is a very rich.
But even the international community, Mr. Chairman, has told you, it has released reports that you're a broke nation. You're talking about water. You're talking about water, Mr. Chairman. Because you are a government in waiting. You are a president in waiting. And we need to hold you accountable before you get into State House. Now, we were told previously that there were opposition political party leaders. When they fly in planes, when they look down, they see water, they see money. Right now, we're even failing to fill up the Kariba Dam. We're even failing to construct canals. We're even failing to channel this water into Kariba Dam. We are being told that. Exactly what you're saying.
Okay, the biggest problem which is in this country is that our God-given natural resources, where we can get a lot of money, minerals and mines, are in the hands of the businessmen. Us as the Zambians, we are just getting taxes. The only benefit you get from there is taxes, and few Zambians who are employed to work there. So, Democratic National Party is saying we are going to nationalize strategic sectors. We identified sectors that can turn around the fortunes of this country, starting from mining, technology, telecom, energy, manufacturing, and agriculture. We are saying all these mines should be 100% nationalized, so that we manage them competently by employing competent Zambians or international experts, because we are thinking of forming what is
so you're also
House
going
of
to put them,
Technocrats.
you're also going to put them in the hands of foreigners, because you are talking about employing foreign nationals.
No,
So we are taking them to foreigners.
No.
Let's talk about telecoms, Mr. Chairman.
Let me finish. Let me finish. It's very important. Mining is one of the important sector for this country. What we are saying as Democratic National Party, we are saying our policy is to nationalize the mines. If we don't nationalize the mine, we own large ownership in terms of the percentage. Minimum 60% ownership in the mine. If we are opening for partnerships, strategic alliance with either local Zambian investors, indigenous Zambian, will give them chance to buy shares in the mines, or local owned Zambian companies, before we look out to the foreigner investors. So what we are saying is that we are going to form House of Technocrats when we nationalize the mines. All these brilliant ideas, starting from mine, telecom, energy, agriculture,
But you
legal.
politicians, listen, that's what you keep on telling us. I want to find out, Mr. Chiaba, you are a politician first of all, before we declare you the president of Zambia or a true Zambian. You are a politician. Now, you, the politicians, have given us these brilliant ideas. But when the technocrats sit and advise you, you don't listen to them. Case in example, last year Zambia was told you are likely to experience a drought as a country, and this happens every 10 years. Statistics are there, evidence is there. The country didn't listen. Hundreds and hundreds of metric tons of maize were sold off to our neighbors. We are now importing, subjected to import GMOs. Do you listen as politicians to technocrats?
So, and later the MMU comes in and says we were not prepared.
We are not prepared for this drought.
Despite those calls being made.
Okay, the issue is that, let me introduce myself. I'm a professional. Actually, I'm a professional. I'm also an entrepreneur and a businessman. So, professionalism and everything I do understand. The biggest problem which has made our fellow politician or leaders, politician is a person involved in governance. We need to understand who is a politician. It's governance. We talk about governance.
But these are governance matters.
Yes, these are governance
So
matters.
you are a politician.
So the planning problem, the politician, they are not people who are going to talk the truth most of the time. They want to deceive someone or manipulate someone for the vote. Politicians, they kill themselves because they don't want to recruit people on professionalism. They want to appoint someone. They've got a lot of things that they need to hide than being transparent and accountable. So this is the reason they don't listen to advice of technocrats, because for them, they think for today and they think to entice the voter. All they worry about is holding those offices, winning next elections. So for us, we think the country to develop is not politicians alone. The major player, the core people that we need, these are technocrats, the professionals, subject matter experts who understand what to do in each discipline. I can give you an example. I'm a fellow of engineering. In engineering discipline, there are a lot of engineering. We have civil engineers, we have
the Minister of Infrastructure is also an engineer.
So,
the President himself is an economist.
Yes, but leadership and practical leadership and this qualification does not matter. A good leader is someone who understands the needs of his followers, put up an action plan. Not always talking, pronouncements, sweet talk, they can never take us anywhere. Practical action. When you are working as a minister, you can be an engineer, you are a minister. If things are not working for you, put up an advert in the newspaper. Request application from subject matter expert who can come and tell them, I've got this problem, I need the solution to this problem. Come up with action plan. When, what need to be done, so that we've got deliverables, KPIs and timelines applied. Within 6 months, this is achieved. Professionals, they work with time and they work with professional code of conduct. And before you appoint a card, someone who is not a professional is a cadre, is someone who supports your party to manage something. You will not do a professional job. It's like you are building a house, then you are just getting anyone to build.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Chairman. You are a politician. seeking political office.
Yes.
We need to hold you accountable before you cross that line of going into State House. My question is, do you, the politicians, love this country called Zambia? Are you patriotic? Do you really love this country called Zambia? When you go to bed at night, do you think about the 20 million Zambians that you administer over, or that you are planning to administer over as politicians? Do you really love the Zambian people, seeing what you have subjected the Zambian people to since 1964 up to date, when the UPND is still in power? The decisions that you make for this country and the decision you plan to make for this country, do you really love Zambia?
This is a good question, and this is the reason Democratic National Party was formed. We looked at the transition from 1964 to 1991, from 1964 to 1991 is a time that we liberated ourselves from foreign rulers. That is good. We add strategic asset. When it comes to management of the mine, I can give His Excellency late Dr. Kenneth Kaunda 100% scoreline out of 100% point scale. He did a good job on the mining and creation of new companies and strategic. The only thing that killed that is because of appointment and nepotism and all, but he did at least 80%. We can give him a credit. 1991 to date, this is a disastrous time for Zambia. There has been no proper development in terms of creating decent jobs, ownership of strategic assets, in reducing poverty, reducing hunger. Politicians, and politician is a professional who involves himself in governance. So a leader is someone who understand the needs of the followers. But what we've seen, the leaders who have been coming in, is that they are leaders driven by personal growth.
But which one are you?
Myself, I'm a leader who work for the legacy and giving back, who create impact to the people. My interest is to uplift the welfare of the people. This is the reason we came up with the Democratic National Party, to ensure that we liberate this country and transform. I'm a transformation leader. I believe in changing the way the narrative has been done. This is the problem we've got. People are vying for public office for personal gain. For them, public office is a business what they are going to do to ensure that they reach themselves. If they live well with the children, themselves and their children, for them, all of us in Zambia are living well. This is a problem we make. We need to ensure that we are scrutinizing these people before electing them. If you see a leader coming to entice you with money during election, just know that even when you elect him, it will not work. We have seen these examples where people vote for parties, and those people they've elected have done nothing even in their
But Mr. Chair, but before my colleague comes in, you know for a fact that world over, politics is commercialized. Politics is commercialized. When you go to a voter, you begin to tell them, and this is what the UPND faced in opposition, where they would go to people and tell them to say, us, just listen to our message. How many years did they remain in opposition? 23 years. 23 years in opposition, because they would go to voters and tell them to say, us, just listen to our message. That message never took them anywhere. 23 years in opposition. A child grows up, finishes school, goes to college, starts working. 23 years in opposition. Now, with the commercialization of politics, Mr. Chiaba, you are telling me that you go to a voter without a rapper Chtenge, without party regalia, without a t-shirt, and just tell them to say, vote for me, I have your best interests at heart. And that voter in City Market, in Chisokone Market, in Green Market will vote for you?
So, I can give the example of Democratic National Party. This party has been grown. It's not substantial commercialization or investment in money or resources. It has grown because when I'm accorded a chance like this one, I've been sharing practical solutions. We are issue-based party which offer practical solutions to the problems. So I've been offering practical solutions. I have sharing my vision for the country. I've been justifying, giving reasons, and justifying what needs to be done and when it needs to be done to ensure that everything improves. I've come up we've come up with a proper manifesto.
Okay.
So the party has attracted people and our credibility, because our party, they are telling us, is only party which is clean, which has got no bad record. So a lot of people are coming to us because of that. So now coming up back to the voter, this is where I concentrate, because a voter is a person who defines the direction of this country by casting that vote. See, a leader should not give you any material to vote for him. This is the reason media houses, they are called us leaders, these platforms, to show and explain to you our credibility. The law of the voter is to assess, is that person talking the truth? What is talking, is it achievable? Is it implementable? Is it going to help us turn around? Based on this media interaction, that's why we make a decision to vote. It's not someone to bring you a t-shirt, chitenge, and compose good songs, buy you chibuku, and when you elect them, they go for 5 years. Again, after 5 years, they'll come and give you something. Now, the trend continues, and those people, when you elect them, the chances of doing a good job to you, it's none. It's only the best person who talks about providing a solution to the problem. Even when you elect him, he will try by all means to ensure that he do his best.
How different are you? How different are you, Mr. Chiaba, and the DNP? We saw the MMD coming with the hour has come. Not much improvement. Privatization took center stage. Maybe after Dr. Frederick Chuluba, we saw the Mwanawasa administration coming in with the IMF program that was started by the Chuluba government. When Zambia reached HIPIC, no Congole, no Kaloba, we moved on. The PF came in with more money in our pockets. Fast forward, we have the UPND, which is telling us to move forward under load shedding, under debt restructuring, under the selling of hundreds and hundreds metric tons of maize, and now we are forced to import. Was the Vice President right when she said we are exporting in order to import? She was actually right. How different are you as a politician?
And just to add on before you respond to that, we've heard politicians come to the media and say, once you put me in office, I will do A, B, C, D for you. Because this is the tendency among politicians. What is it about you that sets you apart? Why should the Zambian people place confidence in you as Democratic National Party to come and change the narrative of this country?
Yeah, those are brilliant questions of asking. So you see, what kills our fellow politician or our fellow leaders? A politician is just a leader. Is that you see, you should tell people what is achievable, what you can do. Deceiving someone, manipulating someone backfires. It's like I'm talking about lies. People will listen to what I'm making promises. If someone comes and tell you, if you elect me, the bag of mirimi will be 50 kwacha, the 2 kg sugar will be 20 kwacha, 5-liter cooking oil will be 50 kwacha, that is a deceiver, that is a liar. Don't vote for that person. In everything we do, there is what is called production cost. To produce a mirimi, someone is supposed to grow maize, it goes to the armor mill, it is pounded to breakfast, it's packaged, then it's sent. So there's ecosystem on the value chain, which is being followed. So all these production areas have got what is called fixed costs. Fixed costs are those costs that you continue incurring: electricity, fuel, salary, renting of the premises. Variable costs are those costs that might change.
So how different are you politically?
Yes.
How different are you?
The different I am from me.
These other governments and these other politicians.
For us, we believe in honest, integrity, ethical, professional code of conduct. I'm a professional who operate under ethical, moral, and professional conduct. Integrity comes first. I will not lower myself to seek for public office while I'm deceiving people, manipulating people, talking lies, in sweet talk, enticing. This is the reason I provide practical solution to the problem. something that is doable, something that everyone will assess and you will say this is the right solution that can help us.
So are you willing to sign? Because I saw this where the UPND, I don't know how the Gerald Bows have forgotten this, because I covered that event at the UPND former secretariat, where we saw the president, now president, being made to sign an agreement with the Gerald Bows. And one of those Gerald Bows, or one of those people that were involved in that signing, Mr. Manenga, I think, he's late, may so rest in peace, signing an agreement that when the UPND come into power, they won't interfere with operations of the Gerald Bows on the Copper Belt. They'll be prioritized. Meetings were held. We followed these stories. Mr. Chiaba, are you willing to sign a consent agreement with the Zambian people that when you come into power, you will not dip your hands in public coffers, you will not abuse the rule of law, you will not prosecute, or let me use persecute, your political opponents, but you will lead this country firmly under the rule of law, upholding the law and not applying the law selectively? Are you willing to do that?
Actually, 100%. For me, I work for the legacy. I want people to remember me a lasting legacy. I can sign that consent agreement, it can be published, we can maintain, and we can even put action plan, things that need to be done and delivered within 1 year. Within 1 year, all these things we are talking about should be done. Because in the first 30 days is to do feasibility studies and check the need analysis where the problems are. Second month is to come up with countermeasure, or after root cause, a solution, what we need to do in each area. Constituting professionals, a team of professionals. This is the reason we are coming up with 2 houses, House of Technocrats, to ensure that we've got subject matters in each sector and each area to help come up with solutions or ideas how to solve, so that we have got a complete overview using the thinking process economy. 1, 2, we are going to come up with House of Tribes to ensure that these tribes, 73 tribes, were united. We address the issues that are happening in customer areas and other issues happening in rural areas, so that development does not only concentrate in urban areas, but is inclusive countrywide, either rural and urban. And we ensure that rural-urban migration is reduced, so that these people in the rural areas, they've got activities, economic activities like agriculture, which we are going to incentivize to ensure that they are doing agriculture, so that we've got enough food in the country. This is one of the issues that we are going to address. Ensuring that immediately we nationalize strategic sectors. Telecom is one of the sectors where we can make millions of dollars. We want to have GDP in excess of $500 billion. Every Zambian should be productive. So we are talking about forming a skills development agency. Just a minute, you asked me. Forming a skills development agency where in each sector, energy, telecoms, technology, science, we are going to upskill people based on the gaps that have been identified, so that every Zambian has got a skill, is able to provide a service and earn a living, as opposed to people just in selling land, and the same land is where we can be getting food to feed ourselves. So these are some of the measures that Democratic National Party will transform this country.
Okay, so I wanted to ask on telecoms, how are you going to make sure that our telecommunications is enhanced in Zambia? We have people that are eloping and going to other countries, but has been detected by our technology here in Zambia. How are you going to make sure that these people, before they even attempt of crossing over to a different country, they are already detected?
So as a country, we are going to focus technology, we are going to focus in this innovation, research and development. In universities, we are going to enhance this organization for NTBC and NC What Science. Those two, we are going to ensure that they are well funded, researchers are well paid, so that every day they are researching. So what has been happening in this country is that when it comes to technology invasion, innovating or coming up with technology products, we are not at that percent. When we were trending around 20%, we need to be trading around 80%. So equipment to detect people who have committed crimes and they've gone to other countries, those can be developed using our technology. We need to ensure that the global satellite, the gateway that controls the international calls and monitors the calls locally and outbound calls, we ensure that we come up with the technology products that is able to detect in real time. Personally, I've worked so many years as a telecom engineer. So these are some of the areas that can help improve our innovation. When it comes to telecom, it's a good business in voice and value-added services. And it's one of the sectors that can employ a lot of people. But we saw when we had companies which used to employ a lot. At first, one of the first companies which used to operate a telecom company was Zamcell, Telecel. At that point, Zamcell used to do well when it was Celtel and Zen. But we saw.
But before that, there was PTC, which was privatized.
PTC was
with the yellow color, which was privatized. And now, I don't want to mention names, but it has been turned into a different company, which is performing poorly.
Yes, because of the competition and lack of.
But it's state-owned, so why is it?
So now, what we need to do, this is the reason we are saying we need to come up with a house of technocrats. Positions like managing a company, we need to ensure that we are getting the people who have delivered results somewhere in terms of business growth. So these companies, what need to be done is right investment in skills, giving them the necessary support to ensure that they thrive. Where they are facing challenges, we need to check. So what we are planning as Democratic National Party is that telecom, it's either we nationalize 100%, but with introduction of 2 more companies from Zamtel. So Zamtel have another 2, but they are all state-owned company and they are working autonomously. We need to disengage these state-owned companies being under certain ministries. They need to operate independently, and the management of those companies and the boards need to be regulated professionally. What has been killing these companies again is
how are we going to do it differently, Mr. Chair?
Differently. The boards currently, the minister appoints the board. The minister does not need to appoint the board.
Who should appoint the board?
What needs to happen now, we're going to change the act. We're going to amend the act. All the boards for private and state-owned, for state-owned companies
and
parastatals, we are going to advertise in the newspaper that we are looking for board members. This is a qualification. Carry out interviews. Check those who are capable.
So who's going to conduct those interviews?
So what we are going to do, we are going to engage an independent recruitment agency for transparency. We can even get a recruitment agency from UK to come and interview. They will not charge us a lot of money. You just to come interviews.
So you're still putting your trust in foreigners?
We are not putting the trust. We want the process to be permeable, and we want the process to be transparent.
You can get some from South Africa or Namibia.
I'm just giving an example.
Why
in South Africa?
Why in South Africa?
No, I'm just giving the example. South Africa, Botswana, any country, we can get a recruitment agency to carry out the recruitment, interview people, shortlist people, and say these are the best. Each board member should have a KPI and deliverables with timelines, so that now those board members have been appointed. They are the one responsible to appoint the management which will run those in day-to-day activities, and they need to ensure that they recruit the best person without any interference. Appointments are the one which have made us to be failing in the areas, because we've been appointing people who can't do the job. In life, it's about who can do it. It's not about who can keep my secret or who is my friend.
Okay.
There's no friendship in business.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, let's talk a little bit more about economic issues. Currently, the country is facing quite a number of economic challenges: the unstable exchange rate, the high cost of living, the fluctuating fuel prices, which have caused the nation to enter a state, an uncomfortable state, so to speak. As a party and as president who is aspiring to, at some point, lead the Zambian people, how different are you going to handle these economic affairs to ensure that the Zambian people can afford some of these necessary commodities?
Yeah, so it's very important to understand that economics is a simple and basic subject. There are about 5 things that need to be done collectively to get your economy working. This is the GDP. We talk about inflation. We talk about fiscal policies. We talk about macroeconomics and microeconomics. And also we need to understand that the cost of living is influenced by certain catalysts. This catalyst is fuel, energy, and fertilizer. So we need to ensure that when it comes to energy, we are not load shedding anyone. If we need to export energy to Southern Africa Power Pool or any country in SADC or COMESA, what needs to be done is first thing, everything starts from planning. Okay, what is our consumption? Our consumption in this country is 3,000 megawatts. For everyone to have electricity in Zambia, we need 3,000 megawatts. If we need to export, what do we need to do? Okay, we need extra 5,000 megawatts to export. How do you generate this power? Is by having new solar plants, is by having new nuclear energy, wind energy, and hydro. Then once we get that, we export the surplus, then we leave it. So we cushion the productive cost, because when you are load shedded, it means if you used to operate 8 hours for your factory or your barber shop, it will mean you work 6 hours, and if you used to make 100 kwacha, you make it 40 kwacha or 20 kwacha. Like that, we are creating more poor people. When it comes to fuel, we are saying we are going to ensure that we form fuel reserve agency, an agency that will be buying fuel to reserve in case of future fuel prices going up. Then we're supposed to use our fuel that we have reserved to cushion the pricing. Then we need to take a route of exploring importing fuel from within African countries. Angola is our neighbor. It produces fuel. Why is it difficult that we should be failing to import fuel from Angola? Why is it difficult that we can fail to import fuel from Nigeria, Sudan, and all these other Africa? Before we go to the Middle East, also as a government, we need to negotiate and talk to fuel suppliers so that we are getting fuel cheaply. When it comes here, only one entity is authorized to distribute and to resell to OMCs. OMCs, I mean these companies which are owning fuel station. The same agents that we create called fuel reserve agents, they sell. When we import,
so what are we going to do with the Energy Regulation Board?
So the Energy Regulation Board, they'll be regulating the policies, coming up with the regulations to regulate the OMCs. The role of Fuel Reserve Agency is to buy, reserve fuel, and also sell to the local ecosystem.
How sure are you that that method is going to work?
I'm sure that method, if we are managing...
Has it worked somewhere else?
It has worked somewhere. America has got Fuel Reserve Agency, so they've got more fuel than Saudi Arabia, which produce fuel. Check those statistics on the...
No, I'm aware of those statistics, yes. They've got more fuel than Saudi Arabia.
Because they have formed the Fuel Reserve Agency, which has been buying fuel to reserve.
Okay, let me ask you this question now. Having said that, you are an engineer, right?
Yes.
There has been an argument by some technocrats that ZESCO in its current form, why it's failing to perform, it's because the reason they're advancing is ZESCO needs to be disbanded. Okay, distribution alone, supply alone. Do you feel it needs to be disbanded for it to work effectively as a utility company?
The issue is not about disbanding. The issue is about business process reengineering, the organization of the company, and how people are recruited in the board. The recruitment of the board is retrogressive in this country. The way board members are recruited by elected officials, and the same board are the one who appoint the MD. So these things, when they are changed, the way the management is recruited is not acceptable. I have worked all my life. I've not worked in any government agency, but I've worked in private and international companies. One of the companies I used to work for, it's one of the biggest electronic manufacturers in the world, for billions of dollars. So I know what they do to ensure that they've got those results. So what needs to happen in a company like ZESCO? For instance, in ZESCO itself, we've got what is called distribution, we've got transmission, and generation. These are departments. These departments now, they should be managed by a general manager or someone who is competent. It's a division within the company. You've got the organogram, you put them,
Organization structure,
transmission, distribution. They are managed by competent people. Then this guy who is on top, who is MD, supposed to ensure that they are working closely with these others.
The three general managers.
Yes. Then the people under those people, they are also recruited professional. Then coming up with the KPIs for each performance appraisals, which are strict to ensure that all the roles in the company, people are able to deliver. We don't want someone report for work, he doesn't have anything to do. Then at the end of the month, it's paid.
6 years. 6 years.
Political and in terms
Now,
of
Mr.
politician easily giving instruction to the MD.
Mr.
Let that
Chairman.
MD make independent decisions.
Mr. Chairman, 60 years after independence, we are still singing the same song over and over and over again. Load shedding in the MMG, load shedding in the PF, load shedding in the UPND. Are we ever going to see load shedding ending when you come in 2026?
100% it should end.
How are you going to end it?
Why I'm going to end it? Do you know the reason why there is load shedding? I was listening to one day the MD for Zesco saying the reason there is load shedding, we export electricity because electricity accounts for about 40 to 60% of our foreign income. Without electricity, we can't have a lot of money to sustain our government or to sustain the
So it doesn't, it's not the issue of water depleting in Kariba.
It's not the issue of water depleting the Kariba. It's not only Kariba where Zesco generates electricity. We've got Kafiwe, we've got the solar plants and all these. We've got independent power producers where they are getting electricity.
So this load shedding is business at play.
Yes, the issue is to export. You need to have surplus. 3,000 megawatts if it's our consumption in this country, which we cannot export. So the best we should do is government to construct more solar plants, because you know that in energy, when we construct those and sell and manage prudently and professionally, we are going to get the profit.
Do you have the money?
Government, we are able to generate money through having our mines. The mines, they make millions of dollars.
But you give mines tax holidays.
This is the reason we are collecting the mines now. They will be in our hands under the Democratic National Party. So that whatever money we make from the minerals, we do value addition. The profits is invested in energy, in agriculture.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. How do you feel that a new investor which has come into the country to own part of your mine is now buying shares into a mine that is owned by an investor who's selling shares to this particular mine? Let me bring you up to speed.
Yes.
Vedanta in KCM is selling shares to IRH, a new investor which has acquired 51% shares in Mopani. So these are foreign investors selling themselves shares from our local owned mines as Zambians.
And we still retain that 49% only.
This is, absolutely wrong. I don't understand the rationale of privatization of the mines. I can give you an example. I have got a cake. Instead of me eating the cake, I give you, then I'm drinking water, then you, the same cake, give me a small cake. I don't understand the rationale. We need to come and do a thorough investigation on this issue. It's very, very important. I can give you an example before I answer the question appropriately. I can give you an example. In Qatar, they own natural gas. Natural gas is one of the foreign earning for that country. They've not privatized. All they do is that they own everything. Then, where they see that there's skill gaps, they employ an expatriate to work for them. If a so-called investor can invest in the mine, it means there's minerals. So let me say it clearly again here. I've been saying this all the media houses. In business, in life, there's no investor. In business, we've got two types of businesses. One, a business where you need to start with capital because you need maybe machinery and human resource. to help you achieve or achieve your target. So in the mines, you start with the capital because you need machinery to extract those minerals. You need machinery to pump the water. You need human resources to work with those in those areas. Then you need to start with the capital. Another type of business is a business where you use your knowledge to provide a service. So I am a specialist in one field. So sometimes I just use my thinking process to advise how to come up with certain issues
but
and
you need
solutions.
Money.
I don't need to start. I don't need a huge capital. Maybe I'll just need money for fuel to go to the office or to go and meet the customer, talk to him. What do you need? You need me to help you with the proposal, or what do you need?
But for you to run all those things, yes. Mr. Chiaban, you need money, and you are a broke country. We have done our research.
Let me
Zambia in itself is a broke nation.
It's a broke because of the broke leaders.
You have what is known as debt restructuring. You've postponed the date to 10 years. You'll be coming into office in 2026. By the time you want to leave office, that date matures and you need to pay it. What math are you going to do to make sure that when your 5-year, 10-year clocks, in that 5th year, as we are going to elections, you'll be able to pay the date that we are supposed to pay to our creditors? What math are you going to use? Because these are practicalities that we're talking about now.
Yes.
If the UPND leaves government in 2026, you come into office, you are still going to inherit that date. The UPND won't pay it. You are still going to inherit that date. The last year of your office, you need to pay that date. How are you going to do it? We need practical solutions, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I'll answer that question. Let me finish the mining. So the issue of this KCM selling shares, it shows you that those people are businessmen who came to look for money. So what these people do when they are coming to buy the mines, they will do what is called feasibility studies, due diligence, check out what is the volume of the minerals in that mine. Then you, Zambian government, you tell them, okay, we're selling you $25. So $25, this is what they are selling me. Then they check the lifespan of that mine, maybe it's 50 years. In 50 years, they will be mining. That guy, what they do, they go to their bank, they get $50. You are selling $25. Okay, you are selling $25, they give you 25. 25, they start operating as a working capital. In a year, they will make $100. They've recovered. They've made $50 profit in that year. Second year, they will make $100. In 50 years, they will make. Who is making more money? You, the person who sold, or the person who bought, and who is clever between the two?
So
the person who bought.
Information. Yes. Armed with that information, we saw this when the UPND were in opposition. I'm giving reference to the UPND because they are ruling now. We saw them giving us calculations. We saw them speaking like the way you are speaking right now. We are back. KCM has been given back to Vedanta. In that, they told us they won't give KCM back to Vedanta. We have seen an investor who has come through. He's only 2 years. The company is only 2 years old. They've been given the Mopani mines. Now, we also see shaft. Is it shaft 2028? It will take 2.5 years to pump out that water in that particular mine. When are our people going to be employed? What practical solutions are you bringing to the table? Because when you get into government, Mr. Chiaba, you are still going to find shaft 28 waiting for you, still pumping that water from the mines, still waiting for it to be stabilized so that our brothers and sisters begin to work in those mines. What practical solutions are you bringing?
So practical solution, like I've said, is to check the feasibility of these mines, to check the due.
You have technocrats, you have reports waiting for you on tables. Already
the issue is not about the reports. Those reports were done years ago. Now, when we are elected, it's that current time. We need to check everything.
So you'll be buying more time?
Not buying more time.
1 year, you'll be
no,
studies.
No.
Using
feasibility studies does not take 1 year. The maximum it goes is 30 days. They just need to check the volume, the lifespan, the levels of the water, how long it will be pumped. We understand fully, so that we put up a measure to ensure that those mines are revamped quickly, so that mining can start. So those are the things that we need to do. We don't trust their report. We don't know how they did it, who did it. They have not communicated in the newspapers. We have not even
heard about it. When you come into government, whatever the UPND has been doing or has started doing, you're going to put it to a stop.
We can't put it on a stop. First
And
is to
begin
review
something else.
No, it's to
the
review.
same way MMD did in
It's
1991.
to review what
the same way PF did in 2011.
We don't change any good things, but we change bad things. The best
How are you going to
transition.
identify good from bad?
Yes. To transition, you need to check what the people have been doing. Where are the reports? Where do we start from? Is this reports correcting actual on the ground? Is it what they've written is actual? We just need to counter check and confirm. Okay, we've confirmed. If these are weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, those are done. Once you are done that, then you know the way forward. Now, what we are going to implement is these strategies to ensure that these mines start generating revenue, people start working, and we start getting value for our money.
How long is it going to take for you to appoint your cabinet?
To appoint a cabinet within, already we've got in our manifesto, we've put up the position for the minister. So within 1 month, we need to appoint the cabinet.
So you'll be appointing one?
We need to appoint them at the same time.
Okay.
Yes. So we need to, because government does not stop functioning. Even when there's a minister, there's these technocrats, the director, and these are technocrats.
So how long is it going to take you?
Within 30 days from the date of election, all the ministers within, we've got about 26 ministries that we need to create. 26 to 30 ministries according to our manifesto.
Are you not going to reduce on the number of ministries?
The reducing it, we need to check if it's something that can be combined with another ministry. But why ministry is important is because you are going to channel resources and knowledge to tackle one area so that you improve on it.
Are you going to maintain the Ministry of Green Economy?
The Ministry of Green Economy is something that we need to review before maintaining it. Is it adding value to or creating impact to our country? What value is it bringing? So, which green economy are we generating this country?
Are you going to maintain the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries?
Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries can be combined with agriculture, but we can still maintain it because we want to ensure that we focus on animal. Because if we can be having a lot of animals layering this country, a lot of farmers are in livestock, it means we can export animals to other countries like goat. Those are highly sought out.
Can that be done under agriculture?
It can still be done, but the issue is if a minister is handling a lot of portfolios, the performance gets diluted. This is the reason sometimes ministries are not combined, but it's something that can be combined with agriculture.
Ministry of SMEs, are you going to maintain it?
Ministry of SMEs, absolutely, is going to maintain it and be reinforced.
Why not merge it with Ministry of Commerce?
So what we are going to do, Ministry of SME will be maintained because we want to focus on SME, startups, and small business, while commerce should spearhead the trade between exporting, while SMEs, they should be empowering the local in terms of skills development, startup grants, ensuring that we decentralize
Do you think that particular ministry is doing that now?
Currently they are not doing that. It's just donors.
So why maintain it?
For us, we are going to maintain and change the terms of reference for that ministry. Change the vision and the agenda for that ministry by empowering to look after SMEs. So from youth development from Ministry of Sport and Child, we will remove that from Ministry of Sport and put everything to do with the small businesses, startups, cooperatives, trainings should fall under that. While commerce should concentrate on the commerce itself. How do we improve the export? Because we need to focus on the export. So commerce will improve on export, industrialization agenda. Industrialization in terms of how do we get factories managed by Zambians and how do we do partnership to ensure that what we import, they are all being manufactured here. So those are the differences.
Are you going to maintain two PSCs or two permanent secretaries at the Ministry of Sports?
It's not necessary. Sports, one PS can manage everything because we are just handling sports. We are just, it used to be called Ministry of Sport and Youth
Development.
Youth,
Is it?
Is it
Ministry of Sports and Youth.
So the youth is going to SME. Now there is just sport. One permanent secretary is enough.
I'm asking you this because
are you not going to overcrowd SME?
No, we're not going to overcrowd. What we do, we've got PS, then we've got departments within the ministry.
But why are you going to maintain these ministries with such names when, in the actual sense, you do not even address the plight of the youth, for instance, the arts? Have we seen visual arts going to a Ministry of sports and arts being addressed, being given grants?
Nothing.
Sculptors, have we seen that?
No.
Have we seen sports people being given money? We have youths that were marooned at OYDC waiting for their money to be paid.
So for us, what you are saying...
So why come up with these names if you are not even addressing the plight?
Let me say, for us, what you are saying, Ministry of Youth and Recreation Facilities. So what we are thinking, each constituency, we need to have recreation facilities for all sports, not only concentrating on football. We need to see basketball. We need to see netball.
Why are you going to build this? Because there are plots that have been sold off by cadres, and people are building shopping malls.
So what we're going to do, we're going to identify places within those areas. You know, government has got the right to gazette any land. It does not mean that when you own land, it's government has got no say. We can talk to the owners, it's either buying or the gazette, giving them another place to build those facilities. So that is an approach. Coming up to the payment of the debt. When we are elected, we are going to investigate this debt in terms of how much actually it is, where they borrowed, where they've left their debt restriction. As you may be aware, debt restriction is a relief, so it does not mean that your debt has ended. For us, our plan is to pay all the debt that Zambia owns within 2 years. So we are going to identify sectors, the same sectors we identified: telecoms, technology.
With load shedding.
Load shedding will be the thing of the past.
With the fluctuating kwacha.
It will
with
be
the high cost of living. With a bag of mealie meal fetching at 390, 400. When we go into December, because we are going to experience the effects of this drought, it will even reach 500 kwacha according to experts. So how are you going to do this?
We're speaking of over $3.5 billion debt. In 2 years.
In 2 years.
How are you going to do that?
Practically. I can give you an example. There's a country where I went to. In technology sales, manufacturing technology, coming up solution and selling to other countries, they've been generating living in excess of $25 billion. Technology sector. Not talking about manufacturing, not talking about pharmaceutical, not talking about agriculture.
Which country is that?
So that country is India. So,
but if India compared to us, you can't compare it to us. Technological wise,
this is the reason we're saying
they've been investing in technology. You know that.
Yes.
That's their strength.
Yes.
They've been investing in technology. So, look at the CEOs for Google. They are Indians.
Now, let me take you in this.
What have your engineers done? What have they produced?
Because, you know, the reason they've got that strength, they've got what is called Skills Development Agency, where in each area, electronics, technology, energy.
Oh, by the way, with all due respect to our engineers, we have competent engineers.
But they are not used.
That are not listened to.
This is the reason I'm bringing House of Technocrats.
You don't listen to them, you as politicians, Mr. Chiaba. They give you advice. They told you, don't build these bridges because you are building on top of water aquifers. You went ahead as politicians, you built on water aquifers. Now we have floods, we have Arcade flooding, we have Unza flooding, we have East Park flooding, and you want to blame our engineers. We have competent engineers that you don't listen to as politicians.
Yeah, so politicians, most of them, their goal is to create wealth for themselves, personal growth. So if you are advising them, most of them, they don't have professional code of conduct. So if you are advising them, they think they will not get something from what they are doing, they will not listen to you. Because for them, if we need to spend 100 kwacha a year, they will spend 20 kwacha and 8. This is the reason we are impoverished country. But Democratic National Party, we are credible, integrity, and we are professionals.
As we go,
we are working towards
ensuring matters of corruption. But how are you going to deal with corruption? We are being told 70 million United States dollars was paid for things that were not supplied.
$4.5 million.
The contract was $4.5 million US. 70 million United States dollars was paid.
Where's the 65?
Where's the 65? And nothing was delivered. Yes. So how are you going to deal with matters of corruption? Are you also going to go there for future work?
No. So corruption, what my investigation and research in this country.
Under a minute, we're going.
Yeah, my investigation and research under this country in terms of corruption. What has caused corruption mostly is that you find that someone manages 1 million kwacha on his portfolio where he's working, but he's paid maybe 5,000 kwacha. So the chances of him stealing, they are high because he gets more money and what he manages is a lot.
Integrity comes in.
Yes, integrity. Then two, you find that the salaries for most of these people are below what they live. They live beyond their salaries. So the chances of them stealing their eye. So what Democratic National Party is saying, the solution is very simple. One, we are going to review all these salaries for public service workers to ensure that we pay at least a minimum that is according to our current economic, our current
so
inflation.
You begin to borrow to sustain
No. We'll check the revenue generation,
because
where we can generate
this
more
is what
money.
happened in the PF.
Yes.
There's a lot of borrowing to
you can never
sustain
borrow.
civil servants.
You can never borrow to pay a civil servant. Then your borrowing is not responsible.
We saw it
First
happen.
thing is to check the revenue generation for government. How much government is there? How much is the wage bill?
Mr. Chiaba, your last words. We need to go, sir. We need to go.
Okay.
Your
my last words is I'm appealing to the voters to ensure that come 2026, let's vote people on merit. Let's ensure we do a lot of credibility checks, due diligence on the candidates that are offering themselves to become our leaders in various capacities, starting from president, MP, councillors, and mayors. Ensure that you vote people on merit, because once you vote the best, they can try to do the best. The country has not progressed because majority of our leaders, they get attracted to public office for personal growth, and this has made our country more vulnerable in terms of impoverishment and indebtedness. A good leader is someone who provides a solution to the problem practically and doing it, actual implementation, not only ending on talk shows, deceiving, manipulating you. These things will not take us anywhere.
Okay.
The issue is that a leader provides a solution and now is going to achieve it. A leader is someone who says, we need to construct a road, we need to construct a hospital.
Okay.
Where do we get the money? Within our Zambian boundary, not borrowing.
Mr. Chiaba, we are going. You are vying for political office. We will follow your journey keenly. This is not the first and last time we're inviting you. We're still going to invite you so that we track your progress as you progress into that political office. We're on remaining with 1 year, 6 months to the elections, according to a political calendar.
Yes.
Yes. So we'll keep on calling you and we'll make sure that we follow your journey. Yes. Chanda, we need to go.
Hello viewers, so we need to go. We've run out of time. Our guest this morning was Democratic National Party President Sydney Chiava, who was helping us understand and digest some of the issues pertaining to national interest. And it's been an interesting discourse. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to catch us next time. That is tomorrow on Thursday on the same time in the next edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. But for now, it's bye-bye from me, Chanda Mwango, your host, alongside
Joe Smarter. Thank you so much. We'll see you when you see us. Good morning.